weekend marks the 50th anniversary of the uprising at the Stonewall Inn here in New York City. The riots credited with giving rise to the gay rights movement. In the years since, the famous tavern has remained a safe haven for the LGBTQ community. But in California, one man is claiming his identity from inside a boxing ring. Patricio Manuel made history this past December as the first transgender man to fight a professional boxing match in the U.S. But Pat had to fight just as much outside the ring to simply get back in it.
Ever since I was little, as far as I can remember, I always saw myself as a boy. I would keep it quiet. I didn't know I had any other option. Felt like a death sentence to me.
Patricio Manuel grew up as Patricia, just outside of Los Angeles in Gardena, California. It's a place where the freeways meet, a city where people can quite literally choose their own path. For Pat, that path led to the gym.
I always resonated with a fighter. When I really started was around 16. The trainer had me spar the first session, hit me way too hard the first time. I was going through so much, and emotionally, mentally, I think it was the first time I felt present in my body being hit that hard.
He says he fell in love with the sport and developed into one of the best female boxers in the country.
It was during that time that I made the choice and decided to go all in with boxing. And, it paid off.
In 2012, Pat qualified for the first ever women's boxing Olympic trials, but a shoulder injury led to a medical disqualification.
I had worked so hard to get to that point that, I slipped into a pretty big depression. So it kind of forced me to really look at myself and be like, what do I need to do to love myself even if the sport isn't here? And, the biggest thing that came out for me is like, you've been lying for years. And I realized at that moment that I couldn't wait any longer.
It was during recovery that Pat made the decision to transition from female to male.
I was more than willing to deal with any of the ramifications for it. I knew that I couldn't live a lie anymore. And if the cost of that meant losing people I loved, then that was the cost I was willing to pay because I love myself first and foremost.
While his family was supportive, others were not.
The gym I had been training at made it very clear that I could train there, but no one could know that I was a part of the gym. So I walked out of that gym that day and I never came back. I really didn't know where I was going to go.
Pat found a gym in Duarte, California, and found a coach who had his back unconditionally.
Well, he just walked in the door one day and kind of told me the deal with his ex-coach and the falling out they had, and I said, yeah, you're going to be trained just like another boxer. You'll just be one of the guys here.
In 2016, he decided it was time to begin the process of getting a license to fight as a male.
I had to have gender reassignment surgery, and I had to be on hormones treatment for a minimum of 2 years.
Pat was ready. Yeah, we trained hard and worked hard, and Pat's sparring with professional boxers and doing great. So we knew it was time.
Once we finally got that license, we thought, great, we're going to be able to fight. Like, that did not happen.
I could tell that he was disappointed, to say the least, frustrated.
Amita Swathin is Pat's partner.
Things would get to the point where his coach and another person's coach would negotiate in the amateur division for there to be an official sanctioned fight, and then someone would tell that person's coach that Pat is transgender, and the people would walk out of the room. He didn't know when his big break would come. He didn't know when a promoter would give him a chance to prove himself.
That big break came when Eric Gomez of Golden Boy caught wind of Pat's story. He knew the importance of finding the perfect opponent.
Touch God's luck to both of you.
He landed on Hugo Aguilar, a journeyman boxer from Mexico. And on December 8, 2018, Pat became the first transgender male to fight professionally in the U.S.
Undefeated in his first professional career.
With his victory, Pat also became the first transgender male to win a pro bout.
I knew I deserved to be in there. I didn't need that moment to be validated in myself. It was like opening a door. It was opening a door, I walked through it. Now there's like 1,000 other doors I need to keep walking through. So I'm just gonna keep stepping forward. It was just the first step in many.
And Pat says he's going to keep fighting. He was supposed to have a fight this month, actually, and an eye injury forced him out of that, but Golden Boy is looking for another fight for him. I talked with a boxing historian, really respected in the community, and he said it's been interesting. Hasn't heard a lot of talk about Pat, But certainly there seems to be some level of acceptance, the way his current trainer talked about it, that you're in the ring, you're one of the guys, obviously.
It seems so incredibly brave of him to go from the stature of, I guess, a featherweight, and to move into, quote unquote, the man's division with the stature. It's just so incredibly, gutsy.
This is who he is. As
And then-
he said from birth, this
Yeah.
was who he was.
Right.
And the next fight coming up soon.
The next fight coming up soon.
Posted.
Yeah.
Coming up here, they